Alright, this video is going to finish up the pegboard toy. We got the main pegboard toy done. Put my headphone on here. We're going to finish up the pegboard toy. We've got the pegboard toy done. Now we just need to get the mallet and the handle that goes to the mallet. All right, so I'm going to go to create a new part, making a part file this time, not an assembly file. And for the mallet, I'm going to go ahead and just create a sketch. And the mallet drawing shows, I'm going to go back to the classroom here and see the mallet drawing shows get our dimensions here. There we go. So it needs to fit within a 3-inch long 3-inch long, and would it be 1.75 divided by 2, so 1 3/4 diameter and 3 inches long. And the shape that you make, you can do whatever you want. You see this is kind of just a random shape. You don't have to make anything specific on this, but the 3-inch dimension and that 1.75 dimension are important. All right, so and then we are going to make the handle next, which is a 3/8 diameter handle that is how long? 5 inches long. All right, so over here in my inventor, I'm in my sketch still, so I'm going to go ahead and rough out a rectangle here that's going to contain half of my mallet shape. All right, and that's a 3-inch tall, and that should be 1.75 divided by 2, because I'm only drawing half the part. I'm going to revolve this thing when I've got my sketch done. All right, so that is the shape that I need to stay within. So from there, I can start adding in lines, arcs, really whatever you want. Just whatever kind of mallet you think you want to build. It's got to be a closed loop. So I'm going to still rubber band it to my part here. I'm going to do another line, and I'm going to trace from there to the corners. So I've got a good closed loop. Got to have that closed loop action going on there. All right, so there's my sketch, and I've got this line I can use for my axis. So I'm going to finish it and then revolve that shape around that axis. All right, so there is my mallet head. But to get it to assemble to the handle, I need to have a threaded hole in there somewhere. And the issue is I don't have a flat surface except for on the ends here. So I need to look in my origin and find a plane that I could sketch this point on. I'm going to create a point on here. So the YZ plane looks pretty good. I really would like it to be out on the surface of the part though. So I'm going to offset a plane. I'm going to offset that YZ plane, and I'm going to offset it out 1.75 divided by 2. Just so it's out there on that part. Next, I'm going to create a sketch of a point. All right, so a point, single point. I want the handle to go right there, and I'm going to add a dimension to get it dimensioned off the end of the handle to center it up. That would be a 1.5 dimension there. All right, so that's where that hole is going to go. I'm going to finish it and then come over to the hole command. All right, so let me see. Oh, it found it. So I had that point on there. It found the point, and it's putting the hole in. I don't want it to be a through hole, though. I want it to be a blind hole. This is going to be a tapped, threaded hole, and I don't want it to go all the way through. So I'm going to shorten that up a little bit. Okay, so if I click on OK, now I've got my tapped hole in there. You save that. This part is done. This was call it the mallet head. Hello, mallet head. How are you today? you mallet head. Let me see, rotate that around, make sure I don't have that hole going all the way through. Perfect. All right, that's good. So I can close this part out and then create the handle that goes along with it. All right, so I'm going to create a new part again, new standard IPT. And the handle is going to be that 5-inch long cylinder. And it was a 3/8. So I'm going to dimension this to be 3/8 of an inch. And finish that and extrude it to be 5 inches long. All right, there is my handle. I just need to get threads on the end of it here. All right, so let me see. If I go to thread and I choose the cylinder over here, it's trying to thread the entire thing. I don't want to thread the entire thing. I just want to thread a little bit of it. So it's maybe 1-inch depth on that. Probably not even that. Probably like 0.5 would be plenty. All right. Just to make it look nice, just throw a chamfer on the back side of this, break that sharp edge. All right. And I'll also change the properties of it to make it look, let's make it look like wood, like it's a wooden mallet. Let me see kind of woods we got here. Driftwood. Yeah, that looks cool. All right, I'm going to save this part as mallet handle. And then I can close out of that part, bringing me back into my pegboard assembly. So I'm going to place in one instance of the mallet head. And I'll just pop it in right there. Just need one, so I'm hitting escape. And then I'm going to place in one instance of the mallet handle like this. And then I'm going to do a constraint to put the handle and the mallet together. Now these don't get assembled to the main pegboard toy down here. They just get assembled together. I basically have two assemblies there in the same file. So I'm going to constrain that cylinder to, let me zoom up on that, to that cylinder. And here we go. That's it. Click on OK. And I don't have these constraints, so I can move them around. I do need to add a constraint so that I can't pull that handle out like I just did. And it looks like my thread size is wrong. I need to go back and edit that hole to make it a 3/8. So let's get the constraint in there first. We're going to add a constraint from, get my rotate over here, from the end. Here it is, the end of the handle. I got to rotate it back to look down into that hole. Not sure if I'll be able to grab that. I might have to move that handle out of the way. Oh, I can see it. I can see the bottom of the hole there. All right. There we go. All right. So that should be constrained now to where I can't pull the handle out. Yeah, everything moves together. All right. That's it. That is the pegboard toy. Next thing you'll do is create a drawing of it. And I don't plan on making a drawing video for this because the drawings are fairly simple and you guys have been doing those for a little while. So that is your pegboard toy. Upside down, there we go.